Listen, boy, I don't wanna see you let a good thing slip away. No, I don't like watching anybody make the same mistakes I made. She's a real nice girl and she's always there for you. But a nice girl wouldn't tell you what you should do. Listen, boy, I'm sure that you think you got it all under control. You don't want somebody telling you the way to stay in someone's soul. You're a big boy now and you'll never let her go. But that's just the kind of thing she ought to know. Tell her about it. Tell her everything you feel. So I want to talk about Tell Her About It today, as you may or may not have guessed. Hey, a Royal Events Caceres. Welcome to the stream. Fleetingly Imperishable. Thank you for joining the stream. We're talking about music theory and songwriting today. Billy Joel's Tell Her About It specifically. And what I want to talk about is the modulation into the chorus. There is that fun borrowed chord and that fun tritone sub in the verse. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Basically, we're in B flat major. Then there's an A flat major flat 7 borrowed chord from the parallel Mixolydian scale. And then it goes to the 4 chord in its first inversion in E flat major over G. So it's a 1 flat 7 borrowed chord 4, which is a which is na 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 na. Hey Jude, listen, I don't want to see like good things slip away. You don't want to watching anybody make. Correct, fleetingly imperishable. That was fun. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Do you mean me saying your name right? Because all I needed for that was the ability to read English. But yeah, glad you got a kick out of me calling you out, shouting you out. Happy to see you here on the stream. Hope you benefit from this. Learn some music theory, some songwriting, and reach out if you want to dive deeper. I can only go so deep on these live streams, unfortunately, but we have fun. So what was I saying? I was saying 1 flat 7 borrowed chord from Mixolydian 4 1. That's the verse of Tell Her About It by Billy Joel. And then it goes into the pre-chorus and it goes, you're a big boy now and you'll never let her go. And what we got here is the 3 minor 7 chord and the 2 minor 7 chord. And in between those we get a little tritone sub-secondary dominant. So basically, never now and you'll never let her, never let her go. You'd expect a G7 here, really. You're a big boy now and you'll never let her go. But that's not the sound we get. We get a tritone sub for this secondary dominant. Big boy now and you'll never let her go. The bass goes down. Big boy now and you'll never let her go. And not big boy now and you'll never let her go. Although both sound great. I would have agreed with both in this context. Billy Joel went for the flat 2 tritone sub. I nailed the pronunciation. Glad to hear that. Fleetingly imperishable. Big boy now and you'll never let her go. Beautiful. Which one do you prefer, actually? Comment below. G7 or C sharp 7, D flat 7? This is D flat 7. Big boy now and you'll never let her go. And this is G7. You're a big boy now and you'll never let her go. Let me know. I'm very curious to know, actually, which one you prefer. Now, moving on. That's just, there we get the 4 minor chord. Just the kind of thing you 1 chord first inversion ought to know. 5 chord, so we get a 2, 5, 1 in B flat. That's the first repetition. On the second repetition, however, instead of getting a 2, 5, 1, we get a 2, 1, 2 major, 5. But actually what's going on is that we're modulating to F major here. We're in B flat major, right? Just the kind of thing you want to know. and then we get a 4, 5, 1 in F major. Makes sense? So the B flat major and the C major are kind of serving as pivot chords, serving as a 1 and a 2, but simultaneously as a 4 and a 5 in F major. Sorry, I'm not a music theory expert, just listening. Yeah, I mean, the point of these lives is that music theory, non-music theory experts can hopefully learn a little bit, learn how to be just a tiny bit more of a music theory expert, you know. It's kind of what I'm going for here. So I hope you learned something from this, and reach out if this is appealing to you, if my teaching style is appealing. Then we can dive deeper into music theory and all the wonders it does for your songwriting. I was actually just about to get to that, because this modulation that we're covering here in this Billy Joel example, let's take the effects off my voice here, there we go, are, like, you might not think music theory is that relevant to you, even if you're doing music, and I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely totally wrong, and I don't care what kind of music you're making or how. Music theory is just going to make you better at everything. And particularly if you're able to use it, employ it, like Billy Joel here, in ways that feel just so subtle that they slip under the radar. You don't notice them. I bet, for example, you never noticed that there's a modulation into the chorus of Tell Her About It by Billy Joel. But it sounds so much lamer if it doesn't modulate. So it's really a tool that makes music better. I'll demonstrate this. That's just the kind of thing you ought to know. Tell her about it. That was a modulation, okay? Just the kind of thing you ought to know. Tell her about it. Tell her everything you feel. So going into that new key there for a second really gives the song a bit of a lift, because we're going in the positive direction of the circle of fifths here. We're moving one flat from our key signature from B flat to F major. And it feels like we just went somewhere. It feels like we went on a journey, in other words. And if we stayed in B flat major instead and did the chorus in B flat major, one, probably wouldn't have worked as well for Billy Joel's vocal range, which is another important thing to consider when trying to make pieces of a song work together. You know, you want your chorus to fit your voice in such a way that it sounds a little bit more hype than the verse. In other words, that it, you know, pushes you a little higher in your vocal register. If we hadn't modulated, let's just check out how that would have sounded. I have no idea, actually. I've never tried this. Let's see what happens. Just the kind of thing she ought to know. Tell her about it. Tell her everything you feel. Give her every reason to accept that you're for real. Need to practice that for a second. Let's try it again. It's just the kind of thing you ought to know. Tell her about it. Tell her everything you feel. Give her every reason to accept that you're for real. Tell her about it. Okay, now let's do it with the modulation. Just the kind of thing she ought to know. Tell her about it. Tell her everything you feel. Do you notice how much less the voice jumped in register there? We just stayed on the same note. That's the kind of thing she ought to know. Tell. As opposed to, no, tell her about it. Make sense? Is that landing for everybody? So the point of music theory, fleetingly imperishable, says not 100%, but makes some sense to me. That's awesome. That's all you need, really. One step at a time. There's no stress, no pressure. take it at your own pace with curiosity. Music theory is not something to be learned in a day. It is a mission of a lifetime. I'm still learning. So, yeah, remember that. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't think you're stupid because you don't know it. Be curious. Be happy that you have the opportunity to learn something new and exciting that makes you better at giving your gift to the world. And reach out if you want to dive deeper into how to increase the complexity of your songs without losing the accessibility of the songs. In other words, finding the balance between complexity and accessibility in your music, making it interesting, but not too interesting, not so interesting that you alienate your listeners and they don't know what's going on anymore, and it might as well be listening to Coltrane, modern jazz. That's not what I'm here to do. I like music that's accessible and fun and easy to understand for the average listener. But I want it to have some sophistication and hidden complexities under the surface as well. And I think that registers even with listeners who don't know music theory. And if that sounds intriguing to you as a songwriting method, then reach out or listen to my music at the links in my bio or comment yes, and I'll reach out to you. And I'll see you same time next week for another songwriting challenge. No, another episode of Get Good at Songwriting. Sorry, just did a songwriting challenge in my Facebook group. This is not that. We're doing a different segment now. See you Tuesday next week. Monday, we did Monday today because tomorrow I'm busy with band rehearsals and stuff. But yeah, Tuesday next week. Same time. See you then. Mwah.